So welcome again, everyone, to the Healthy for Life program. My name is Kim Pullman, and I am the Wellness Program Manager with the Healthcare and Benefits Division. I'm also a registered dietitian, and I teach group fitness classes at a gym here in town. And one of my very most favorite things to do is to work with health coaching and to work with people on weight management and on meeting their personal goals. So I worked with one of my past coworkers to develop the Healthy for Life program. And in the past few years, we haven't done a live program of the Healthy for Life. We've just had the recordings available online, and there were no live programs. So we are doing the first live program. So you are privileged enough to be here with this first live program in quite a few years of Healthy for Life. That being said, it is important for you to know that I am recording these webinars so that we can post them on our website and other people can view them. So if there's any issue with that at all, I would encourage you to just watch the recorded webinars instead of being on the live webinars. But hopefully you'll stay on the live webinars, because even though you won't necessarily get to talk, you will be able to ask questions through the chat, and we'll talk through some of that. And I will depend on you to ask questions of things that I don't cover or that you're confused about, because chances are, if it's a question in your mind, then it's probably a question in someone else's mind too. And sometimes I'm too close to it and I gloss over things that I should give more detail to. So I please encourage you to enter your questions so that we can all participate in this together. The other thing that I would say as far as housekeeping goes before we get into too far into the program is just to describe what the program is like for you. So the program is, if you make it all the way through, and that's the challenge for you, I don't see a lot of people make it all the way through, because the whole program is a one-year program. We don't meet weekly for a year. We meet weekly for these first 16 weeks. And then after that, we'll meet monthly for the next 6 months. And then we'll have a graduation webinar. So my challenge to you is to see if you can make it through the full year of the program. Now, that's not to say that you have to be at every single live webinar, because I do and I will offer the option to watch the recorded webinar and to make it up. So each time we do a webinar, there'll be a survey that I send out to you afterwards. And all you have to do is click on that survey and answer a couple questions, and then you'll get credit for attending. So whether you come to the live webinar or you watch the recorded webinar, just click on the survey after each one and then fill it out, and you'll get credit for attending. So the other thing that you need to know is that my vision for the Healthy for Life program and for working with you for the next year is that we will be able to work together to modify the program as is needed to meet your needs. So there is health coaching that is available through the Montana Health Centers, or with me if you're outside of a Montana Health Center area, or there's another reason you want to work with me directly. Of course, my slots are limited. I see there's 68 of us here. So obviously I can't meet with 68 people, but probably not all of you are going to want health coaching in addition to the programs. But if you do, that resource is there. And the past participants in this program, their feedback has been that additional coaching, like once a month during the program, was really helpful for them in tailoring the program to fit their needs. So if you do health coaching, you can do one time, you can do it once a month through the whole program. It can be tailored to fit how things work for you too. The other thing that I want to say is we do focus on weight management in this program, but this program is absolutely applicable if you're a person who feels that you're at or close to your desired weight. All of the information in this program is absolutely applicable to maintaining a healthy lifestyle, to just revamping that. So please keep that in mind as you go through the program. I want to make sure that the program is accessible for everyone, whether you're brand new to weight management or you're just looking to improve the quality of your life or meet certain goals. So let's figure if I can figure out how to advance the video or the slides. So I'm interested in getting to know the 68 of you that are on the Healthy for Life webinar today. So the question is, what is one thing that you are excited about? So if you'd like to share something you're excited about, I want to get a feel for where you're all at today, even though we're not person to person, face to face, we're still live together. So if you wanted to enter something into the chat about what you're excited about, just getting healthier and weight down, fitting into my clothes. Yep. Learning new tricks and tips for healthy eating. Definitely do that. Losing weight so I can run and hike again. Yep. Feeling better about myself, longevity with the grandkids, being able to keep up with the kids, accountability. Love it. Hoping to feel healthier. Yeah. Good nutrition habits. All of that is stuff that I hope that you will get out of the Healthy for Life program. And the lifelong skills, that's a really good point, because the Healthy for Life program isn't necessarily, it can be, but it isn't necessarily a diet. And we will talk through what a diet is for real, as versus what a diet is kind of in popular society or in our own minds. So this program is definitely about changing your lifestyle. It's about changing the choices that you make every day to the point that you don't have to think about it being a choice. That's just the way that you do things now. So that's really what we're hoping to get to with Healthy for Life. And I know you're probably all in different places as far as weight management goes, and I absolutely respect that. But I'm going to guess that most of you have tried to lose weight before. So some of the information that we'll go over may be a repeat for you, or you've heard it before, but hopefully each time you can get something new, some little tidbit or snippet of information that'll be new, that'll be really helpful. All right, so let's get into it here. So I'm going to minimize the Q&A and scooch the chat over to the side here so that I can see my slides. So one thing you need to know about me is that I'm serious about helping people and being your partner, your accountability partner, to come alongside you in this journey that you're on. I'm serious about that. But I strongly feel that you are not going to stick with anything that you don't have fun with at the same time. That works for lifestyle changes. It works for exercise, all of that kind of stuff. So you'll find sprinkled throughout the presentations that we're going to do a little humor that I like to put in. And I'm kind of a goof. I'm kind of a nerd. But one of my very most favorite comic strips is Calvin and Hobbes. So you'll see your very first Calvin and Hobbes comic strip to share with you. And many thanks to Bill Watterson for his talent and skill and thoughtfulness. You'll see quite a bit of that. So your very first Calvin and Hobbes comic strip is over there. So Hobbes asks him, what are you doing for your New Year's resolutions? And Calvin says, see, in order to improve oneself, one must have some idea of what's good, and that implies certain values. But as we all know, values are relative. Every belief system is equally valid, and we need to tolerate diversity. Virtue isn't better than vice, it's just different. And Hobbes says, I don't know if I can tolerate that much tolerance. And Calvin says, I refuse to be victimized by notions of virtuous behavior. So all kidding aside, notions of virtuous behavior is kind of where we're getting to. So do you know that you should be active every day? and that you should eat lots of fruits and vegetables, and that you should get more sleep, and that you should spend more time doing the things that you love, that you would feel better if you did, that you would live longer and happier life when these things are a part of your life and made priority. So the answer to all of those questions, I'm just going to take a guess, is probably yes. You know those things. You've heard those things. You've tried to do those things before. So really the question is, what is stopping you? And that's not necessarily going to be just one thing. And we're going to explore this as we go through all of these presentations together and we go on this journey together. But that's kind of where we're getting to. What are your barriers? What's stopping you? Because you know the nuts and bolts of this. So I'm going to tell you a story about the frog in the well. So there was once a frog who had been born and spent his whole life at the bottom of the well. The sky was, to his mind, a circle of light above him. That's what it looked like. That's what the world looked like. To him, it was a dark circular place with damp walls, which he thought was great because he had never known anything else and he was a frog. So it's a pretty good place for him to live. Then one day, a passing bird came and landed on the edge of the well and looked down and talked to him. And the frog was like, "What is happening? There's a bird in the sky. That's bizarre." And the bird said to him, "Why are you down in that well? Why don't you come out?" And the frog was like, "What do you mean? Come out?" So eventually the bird convinced him to climb all the way to the top of the well, even though he was comfortable where he was. And suddenly the sky was no longer a little circle above him. It was great big open sky, stretched as far as he can see. And the well where he had spent his whole life up to that point was only a dark circle below him. Suddenly he could see what had been there all along, a world that was more than just enough. Sometimes it's about changing your perspective and opening your eyes to what is really there. So we're going to tackle some of those barriers a lot of the times that exist in our own mind to find new ways to accomplish what you want to accomplish. That's the moral of the story, as you will. So it's time to change your perspective. And I loved this picture. I thought this was great. So as you can see, looking through that sphere that they've got in their hand, what they're looking at is actually upside down. So changing your perspective may be as simple as changing what you're looking through. And many times when we think about all those, you remember on the slide before, do you know you should sleep more? Do you know you should eat fruits and vegetables? And then have you ever thought in response to that, I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. There's no point in trying. Nothing I can do will make a difference. It makes me have anxiety even reading those statements. Anybody else? Like, oh, it just makes me feel like tense in my belly. So changing your perspective sometimes is really important, but so is changing your self-talk. And I love this little girl. She's asking the question you're going to be soon asking yourself, where am I going? Where am I trying to go? Why should I tackle this? Why is this important to me? A journey can never begin without the first step. So you have to ask yourself, what is your driving force? What do you really want out of what you're doing here? Something that works for me and that works for a lot of people that I've worked with is to find a picture or a quote or something like that. And that might change as you go through this journey. That's totally okay. But find a picture or quote, something you can put up where you can see it every day, maybe on your mirror in your bathroom, maybe on your refrigerator, maybe on the dashboard of your car, a picture or quote that reminds you of what your driving force is, what the reason is that you're doing what you're doing. Is it the grandkids? Is it feeling better about yourself? Is it decreasing your chance of chronic conditions? Is it managing chronic conditions you might already have? What is it? Is it avoiding pain? I mean, heck, I've had enough pain in my life. I know it can be about avoiding pain. Like there's anything better than that, right? That is sometimes what it takes for us to actually take that step and stick with it. So Think about that. And I'm going to encourage you to continue to think about that as we go through this process, because it's likely going to change as you get more into your own head. I know, kind of an uncomfortable place to be, but get more into your own head. You can really think more about what it is that is truly your driving force and that what you want out of what we're doing. So here's your tools, because I'm all about giving you resources. Support from your team. I'm part of that team. Think about who else is on your team. Maybe the people on this call, you could ask questions. Maybe coworkers, maybe friends, maybe family. Who's on your team? Support from your team is absolutely a tool that you should use. A structured program to keep you on track. That's what Healthy for Life is about. All you got to do really is show up, and the other stuff generally will follow. Benefits for weight management expenses are available, and we're going to talk more about the healthy weight reimbursement that's available here in just a little bit. There's also lots of other benefits available to you as a state of Montana plan member for weight management. And I already mentioned one of those is the health coaching. Registered dietitians, exercise physiologists, behavioral health coaches, all of those people are available to you at the Montana Health Center with no additional cost. We also partner with the arthritis program to offer the Walk with Ease program, which is another free program. If you're just starting with exercise, they're a great program. I'll give you more information on that in a future webinar, but that's there. There's books of information out there, and not just books, there's a whole internet full of information. So we'll learn, how do you sort through that information? How do you find reliable information? A place to ask questions and get ideas. That's what this is right here. A place to ask questions and get ideas. And here's how you use them. We're going to choose some goals. If goals is too scary, think about areas of focus. Where are you focusing, right? If goals is too scary, you don't like that word, just think about it as areas of focus, because we're going to choose some. Think outside the well to overcome barriers and tripping places. So we're going to go over some different ways of thinking about things that might help you think about things in a little bit different way that might help you surmount those barriers that have been there for you. Commit to the goals you choose by taking action, right? That's the most important thing, is that you choose a goal that you absolutely are going to do. So don't choose a goal that you don't have energy towards or that's too big. We'll go over all that as well. Being aware of your daily choices, and that's going to take the form of a food and fitness log, which we will go into gently and easily, unless you would like to do otherwise. Be active each day. And by active, I don't mean you have to go out and run a marathon, or you have to do an hour group fitness class, or you have to climb a mountain. That's not what I mean. We'll go over that in more detail in some future webinars, but just be active each day. Park further from the store when you're going there. Make, if you've got a Fitbit like I've got on, maybe have it set so that it buzzes you every hour. If you haven't walked at least 250 steps, just walking around, doing some chores, doing some other things. Be active each day. Walk your dog, go play with grandkids. Yeah. Being aware of your daily choices and being accountable for your choices, and using setbacks as a way to grow. So fully expect and be fully expecting that each goal that you make is not going to work perfectly the first time. We're not perfect people. We're just going to try and fine tune it to find something that works better. So when you go into it, expect to succeed. Be ready, because change is scary, right? All this stuff, probably you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, she hasn't even gotten to what we need to do. Change is scary. I know it is, but it's also exciting and necessary. And know what to expect the program requirements. And I kind of went over those already, but we have a few more that I need to go over. And know that you're not alone. We're all here together in this group each week. And you have me, you can connect with the health coach. Just let us know. So keys to success. There is something you need to know if weight management is your goal. And for a lot of you, that really derailed. Yeah, it derailed. The pandemic derailed a lot of things. But if weight management is your goal, then losing weight and keeping it off is not something that happens to everyone. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but again, view it as a challenge, okay? Because if you do what we're going to go over in this program, if you do it, I can almost guarantee that you will lose some weight. I'm not going to tell you you're going to get to your goal weight. That is up to you. That's up to your body and how your body is going to treat you. But if weight management is your goal, then the people that are successful with that, they actually have done not necessarily a study, but they've set up a weight management registry for people who have lost weight and they've kept it off. And far and above the top 4 things that those people on that registry who have lost weight and kept it off said were these 4 things. These 4 things are necessary if you want to lose weight and you want to keep it off. Number 1, low calorie diet. Number 2, regular and varied exercise. Number 3, very little, an hour or less a day of screen time. How do you do that when you work on a computer all the time, right? So think about screen time outside of the work that you're required to do as that hour. So that includes phones, computers, TVs, all that stuff. That's why it says screen time instead of TV time. And then eating breakfast every day. I know, don't jump on me. Eating breakfast every day. Let me put it into perspective for you. Breakfast is a meal you eat before lunch, right? It doesn't mean as soon as you get up in the morning, you have to go eat. Some people aren't hungry right after they wake up, but you should have something to eat before you get to lunch. So don't starve, don't fast your body all the way until lunch every day, because then you have a tendency to eat a little bit more than you should at lunch and not as well-rounded of a diet. So these are 4 really helpful, tangible things that can be and are a part of what we're going to work on together in this program. So I described already the program structure, 16 weekly webinars. We'll do Thursdays from 12 to 1, followed by 6 monthly webinars. We will have self-monitored exercise and diet. So I'm going to ask you to keep track of that. Program materials, and I'm going to show you where these are at. The guidelines for participation, slides for the webinars, the food and activity log, if you choose to use a paper log. It is totally up to you how you want to track your food. And then the weight chart. So all of those are available on the website, which is benefits.mt.gov/healthy for life. I will show you what that looks like here in just a second. Let me see if I can do a new share and go to our website, which I pulled up. Okay, so let me know if the view changed so that you can see our website instead of my slides. Yes, okay. So this is the Healthy for Life page. And you can see there's the note on the top there where I'm letting everyone know that we're doing this webinar today. So this page, if you read through it, it describes what the Healthy for Life program is, talks about program requirements, talks about program benefits. And then here, as you get down to the resources section, you can see there's resources there. There's create a meal, food and fitness log instructions, and the weight chart. So all of that is there. And then the weekly webinars. So you'll notice that the webinar recordings aren't updated because that's what we're doing right now, is updating those webinars. That's why I'm recording it. But the slides are there, so you can download the slides that I'm showing you. You can print those out if you'd like to, or save them to your computer, whatever you'd like to do. And then there's the link for the week 1 survey. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do after each webinar. Just click on that link, answer like 3 questions, and then you'll get credit for attending. So I just wanted to show you what that page looked like so that you could see all the different resources that are on the page, available for you anytime. All right, so I'm going to switch back to the slides. Maybe. Okay, switch back to the slides. I'm fairly new with Zoom, so bear with me. Okay, thank you. All right, so what we're working on, in case you haven't gotten the impression yet, is that this is lifestyle change. The problem with diets is that you aren't on them all the time, right? And so as soon as you come off a diet, if you don't have the lifestyle in place that you need to, then that's where the weight comes back. And that's where you get into that vicious cycle of, I've lost weight on this diet, but now I'm not on the diet anymore. And I don't know how to live my life when I'm not on a diet. I'm going to go back to what's tried and that I've done my entire life, my comfortable rut in the road, and then the weight comes back on. So that's the problem with diets. So I'd like to encourage you to think about diets as a lifetime healthy way of eating. If you look it up in the dictionary, I paraphrased it, but that's what a diet is. A diet is not something you do for 16 weeks and then you stop. So think about, because probably most of you are excited today. You have energy, right? You're like, yes, I can do this. I'm excited. I'm going to try this thing. We're going to do it. So if I could do anything for you, and I wish I could, but if I could do anything for you, I would bottle that enthusiasm for you, right? And put it on the shelf until we get to about week 7, and then let you have a little shot of it, right? Redo that enthusiasm. So as much as you can, remember how you feel today. Maybe just take a second and think about, like, how do I feel today? I feel empowered. I feel enabled. I have that like edge of scary but exciting kind of feeling. So really try and internalize that so that when you get to those hard places, you can think about it and maybe bring that back. This program is not designed, unless you choose to design it that way, it's not designed to make you lose weight quickly. It's designed to make you lose weight in a way that's healthful and impacts your metabolism as little as possible. So expect to lose weight slowly, but surely, by making changes that will last a lifetime that you can build on. And that's if you do it. It's the taking action thing that I mentioned earlier, not just setting the goal, but actually doing that, actually doing what it is that your area of focus is. So start to reset your thinking now. Hopefully you're getting that from me. I want you to reset that thinking now. This is lifestyle change. It's lifetime change. This is not a diet. That's not what we're going for. So what makes a good goal? Some of you are probably very familiar with this. It never hurts to refresh your memory though. A good goal is achievable. It's specific. It's measurable. And it has a date for completion or reevaluation, right? Because we're not always going to complete something. This is really about the journey, kind of like that little girl in the picture earlier. This is about the journey, not necessarily about the end, about being done. So examples of goals that meet these requirements. Maybe for your first week would be, I am just going to write down what I eat every day, right? For 1 week. So that's achievable. You can write down what you eat every day, most of you. I'm not even going to ask you to write down serving sizes this week. Just write down what you eat, or track it on your phone, or put it in your app, in your Fitbit app, or document it on your computer on a spreadsheet. However you want to track your food is fine with me. You can download the tracking form that I have on the website. If you are a paper pencil user, just fold that up, put it in your purse, put it in your back pocket, take it with you, write down what you eat, right? It's specific. I'm going to write down what I eat on this thing. It's measurable. I'm going to do it for 7 days, right? I'm going to do it for a week. So after 7 days, I'm going to reevaluate. So that's an example of a goal that would meet these requirements. Another example of a goal would be, I haven't really been very physically active, but I would like to add some activity this week. So I am going to walk for 15 minutes, 3 days this week, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon, because that's a time that works for me. That's another example of an achievable, specific, measurable goal, right? So when you're thinking about your goals, try and apply that. So write out your goal maybe, or have it in your head and say, is this achievable for me? Is this something I actually can do starting now? Is this specific enough that I know exactly what I'm going to do? And is it measurable? Can I tell if I've done it or if I haven't? So just think about that when you set your goals. Yeah, and I see the question. So if you can only lose weight through calorie restriction, how do you not diet? Does that mean it's staying at 1,200 calories for life? We'll go over calorie goals. But if you think back to the slide where we talked about a low calorie diet, right? That doesn't necessarily mean a weight loss calorie diet. So you don't have to stay that low, but you also don't want to be eating a high calorie diet. So there's some foods that fit better in a low calorie diet, and some foods that fit better in a high calorie diet. And I think you'll see what I mean as we go along, but no, that doesn't mean that you have to stay at 1,200 calories, but it does mean that you need to monitor the calories. Maybe not every single day, especially, I mean, for this first little while on the program, yeah, you're going to start monitoring that. We're going to get you there so that you can, because you really need to have a solid base of understanding of how many calories you're eating. And then once you have that, then you can make adjustments to the types of food that you're eating, the amount of calories that you're eating, based on how you're meeting your overall, like if you want to lose weight or if you want to feel better, or whatever the case might be. What if you're diabetic and used to counting carbs? Yeah, you can count carbs too. I've had questions like that too. Do I have to do calories? I'm on Weight Watchers too, and we do points. Yes, you can count points. You can count carbs. You know, if there's something besides calories that you want to do instead, essentially how I think of it in my head is that calories, it's just a different way of counting your food intake, right? And that's what you need to be aware of. And that's what you need to be able to set a baseline for so that you know what you're taking in. So yeah, if you want to count carbs, if you want to count points, want to count calories, that's good. I'm going to refer to it as calories, but you can modify it as you need, based on your experience and maybe the other things that you're working on. Okay, so for the purposes of this program, we're going to think about 3 goals. There's going to be a goal related to weight loss, a goal related to exercise, and a goal related to healthy habits. There might be one goal that you focus on more on any given week. So for this week, maybe you're just going to choose one goal because that's what seems achievable to you, and that's okay. But as we go through time, as we go through this program, we are going to set goals in all 3 of those areas. Sometimes it might be one goal that targets all 3 of those areas, right? They're not mutually exclusive at all. They all work together. Healthy habits, exercise, and weight management, it all works together, it intertwines, it meshes together. So it's not to say you have to have 3 separate goals, but we're going to look at those 3 things as far as the goals go. So for each of your goals, it's 3 goals or 1 goal, write down one simple action you will take this week to move toward that goal. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time here, just a minute or 2. If you have something to write on, or you can pick up your phone and make a note in there for yourself, just take a second and think about your own personal life and a goal that you could make. If you want to do 3 goals, that's great. If you want to do 1 goal, that's great too. Just think about what's a specific, achievable, measurable goal that you can start doing right as soon as we're finished with this webinar, that you can start doing today for the next week until we meet again. As you're thinking about it, it's helpful sometimes to write down barriers you think you might run into. Time is a huge barrier. Money is a huge barrier. Lack of resources is a huge barrier. So think about all of those goals and then think about all of those potential barriers that could be there and then modify your goal so that it is something that you'll be able to do. And it's important for you to remember your goals. So you'll see I have the tip down at the bottom. Put it someplace you can see it. Put a reminder on your phone, put a reminder in your Outlook, put a note on your mirror. All those same places where you maybe are going to put, where's the thing that moves you, where's your driving force, right? Maybe next to that you can put, this is my goal for this week, this is my thing that I'm focusing on, like blinders, right? There's all this other stuff that you can do, and I totally get that, and sometimes that just totally overwhelms you and can paralyze you. So once you've set that goal, just focus on that for this week, right? Steps forward is what we're trying to go for. As you're thinking about this, do any of you have questions about your goal? Suggestions for free apps to count calories. I think MyFitnessPal is still free. There's the USDA, I forget what it's called, calorie tracker. Let me send an email out to the group and I'll send you a whole list, okay? Just afraid of failure. How common is that? Yep. Especially when you've tried to do this before. So use those experiences. When you've failed before, and I put that in parentheses, I gave it the air quotes, because it's not necessarily failure. It's helping you learn the ways that don't work to achieve the goal that you want, right? So think about why it was that you failed before, that you didn't achieve your goal before. There might be multiple reasons. Think about that. And then when you're setting your goal this time, how are you going to overcome those barriers so that you have a better chance of actually getting there, of actually not failing this time or achieving more than you did last time? Someone chatted and said MyFitnessPal is free, and many items you just scan the label or barcode. Yeah, they have really cool stuff compared to when I first did this program. The amount of technology that's available to assist you with tracking your food is, yeah, there's a lot out there if you're if you're comfortable with technology. And if you're not comfortable with technology, that's okay too. You can do it old school, paper and pen and a scale and some measuring cups, right? That's okay too. MyPlate, yeah. MyPlate, I believe, is the USDA one I was trying to think of. Yes, thank you. Okay, so here we go. So the food and fitness log, like I said, this week, I would like you to record everything you eat. That's all you need to do. You need to write down, for breakfast, I had eggs and a tomato. I had a latte. I had whatever. Just write it down. That's all you need to do. I don't care about serving sizes. If you want a gold star and you want the information starting right now, you've got lots of energy and you know how to do it, track it all. That's totally fine with me too. But if you're just starting and you want to start slow, for this week, food and fitness, all we're tracking is what you eat. That's it. Just write it down or put it in your phone or whatever. My symptoms, that's another one. Is that one free? Yeah, a quick way to keep track of your food intake is to take a picture of it with your phone. What a great idea. That's a fabulous idea. And then put those pictures down so you can see them each day. That's what I ate. Like that. Okay, so successful food and fitness log. You got to get in the habit, because we're going to ask you to do this. We're going to ask you to track this because, and the predominant reason is that you cannot successfully make changes to your diet unless you know what your diet is, what you're eating. I mean, it's just basic information, and I fully understand that it's a lot of work. And I'm going to tell you a secret, because I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing as you are. So we're all going to be in it together. And I know it's a lot of work, but it is absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And it's not something that you're going to have to do forever, because as you do this more, and some of you may have done this a ton, so you know this, as you do it more, it gets much easier, and you don't have to do it all the time, because you'll just know in your head. But it's important to continue to do it over time, even sporadically, to make sure you're still where you thought you were. So bring it with you. Bring your phone, bring your piece of paper, bring your booklet, whatever it is that you're tracking on. Write down everything you eat and drink, including water, right? I know, what, water? Yeah, write down, I had a cup of water, right? It's okay. Everything, if you taste it, then you gotta write it. If you bite it, then you write it. I've heard that too. So Weight Watchers has an interesting idea about tracking fruits and vegetables, that you don't have to track the calories for a lot of fruits and vegetables. And I'm going to get into that more when we start tracking the calories, because that option absolutely does exist, and it can simplify the process. But for this week, you're not tracking your calories, you're not tracking your serving sizes. All you got to do is write down what it is. So write down everything. So the deliberate activity and exercise, you can add that this week if you would like to, but you don't have to. And I would like to encourage you, and I would encourage you to record your weight once a week, same day, same time, same situation every week. So if you weigh on Monday on your scale at home with no clothes on, then do that way every week. Use the same scale, same situation, same day of the week, and then write that on your weight chart. And I know weight is a big trigger for people. Taking your weight is a big trigger for people. I would like to float the idea to you that it is also a huge tool that you have in your toolbox to know if what you're doing is accomplishing what you want it to accomplish. So I'd like to encourage you to do that this week as well. So write down your food and take your weight once this week. That's it. And please try not to focus too much on that weight. Just write it down and put it away. Especially if you're one of those people that ruins your whole day. Try not to focus too much on it. All right. But it's just a tool that we need to use. Okay, all that was serious. Let's have a little fun. This is what we're going for, right? You go to the doctor, and what they say to you is, you've got a rare condition called good health. Frankly, we're not sure how to treat it. That's what we're going for, right? Hopefully. All right. So my little seedlings, you'll notice the plant on this slide grows each week. Just getting planted. So set your goals. If I didn't give you quite enough time to write that down or to think through it, take a little more time as soon as we get off. Let's see what time it is. We still have about 15 minutes left in the hour. So you've set that time apart for yourself. So maybe take just a little more time to think about it, write it down, think through any barriers as far as your goal this week. Maybe your goal is just to track your food, and that's fine. That's totally fine. So think through that goal, think through any barriers you might come up, like, if I'm going to track my food every day, how am I going to remember to do that? Maybe that's a barrier for you. How am I going to have time to do that? Just think about those things. Set your goals, do what you've decided to do. So that's why it's super important when you set your goal, it's got to be achievable, because it doesn't do you any good if it's written down, you don't do it. Record your food. And if you're brave, start recording your weight this week. If you would like to go and preview the slides for next week that we're going to go through, make sure to fill out the survey, and I'll send that out to you via email as a follow-up for our meeting today. On every single one of these, I say, bring your binder and log to our next webinar. If you don't have an actual physical binder, that's okay. I personally just find it really helpful to print stuff out and put it there. I'm old school that way. I like to actually see the pieces of paper and have it all put together, because then that gives me that feeling of, oh, this is everything I've accomplished. It's an easy way to find everything. It's all together. I can take notes on it while the presenter is talking, or when I have a thought about how to do things better. So, and I see there's some questions and I will answer those. So while I'm looking at those questions, I'm going to leave you with one last Calvin and Hobbes and also Healthy for Life contacts. So for more information about the Healthy for Life program, you can reach out to me directly. You don't necessarily need to go through benefits questions. So my email is kpullman, KPU, and I'll type it in the chat box, KPULLMAN at mt.gov. And my number is 444-3809. So if you need to call or email me, you have questions, please do so. You all have certainly not overwhelmed me to this point. I've gotten a few questions. So if you have further questions or need more information or whatever reason, feel free to reach out directly to me. If you want to go for your health screening, to get your screening results, to enroll in health coaching, if you'd like to do that alongside this program, there's contact information for the Montana Health Center there. You can call and make an appointment for that. So let me know. If you haven't already had your health screening this year, your state-sponsored health screening, I would highly recommend it within the next few weeks if you can get it done that quickly, just because it gives a great baseline for starting the Healthy for Life program. That'll be really helpful for you. So you can see this is where I started, and then a year from now, you can do the health screening again. You can say this is where I ended after a year. It's super helpful. So you might want to add that to your to-do list for this week, along with tracking your food and taking your weight one time. Schedule your health screening and get that done. I would highly recommend that. You can have more than one health screening per year with a provider's permission. So if you've already had your health screening this year and it was recent, you can probably just use that. But if you haven't had it for, like 4 months and you want up-to-date information, then just contact your provider and have them ask you to have another health screening. And the bariatric surgery is an interesting question. Let the group know if there is anyone else that's had bariatric surgery. If there's a bariatric surgery group, like if there's a group of you that want to connect together too, you can send that email to me and I can connect you all together if you would like to do that. Because that is a whole nother level too. All of this is still applicable if you've had bariatric surgery, but there's definitely other considerations that it might be really helpful to know other people. Have one now and then one at the end of the year. I think that would be fine to have a health screening now and then one at the end of the year. So if you've already had one since January, then just contact your provider and have them order you one. But if you haven't had one since January, just make your appointment and get it done. Awesome. Yeah. So send an email to me at kpullman@mt.gov if you've had bariatric surgery and you want to be connected with other members of the group who also have had that. Okay. These are going so fast. Let me make it bigger so I can see more. What's the best time of day to weigh yourself? I did want to answer that question. So the best time of day to weigh yourself is the time that you choose. A lot of people like to do it first thing in the morning. It really, as long as you're consistent, what we're looking for in this program is the trend, if you will. So we're looking to graph that weight to see, are you going up? Are you going down? Are you staying steady? That's what we're looking for. So as far as weighing yourself and the best time of day to do that, it's really up to you. Counseling, yes. If counseling is something you're interested in, absolutely. I mean, yeah, to me, the mental component of a weight loss journey or a journey to be healthier and to meet the goals that you want to meet, the mental component is absolutely critical. And that's where I see a lot of barriers with the people that I've worked with is, maybe they have family members that are challenging to them. Maybe they have past experiences that are challenging to them. And a lot of that is absolutely enmeshed with the whole weight journey and how they feel about themselves. So, I mean, you have EAP visits available through the state plan. So you actually have 6 of them now. It went up since COVID first started. So take advantage of those. And again, if you have questions, details on that, you can either go to our website, there's an EAP link, or you can ask me too, and I will direct you to the same place. I absolutely feel like counseling is something that's super helpful. The survey that you need to fill out, I think that's what you mean by the wellness slide that we need to fill out. So the survey I will send to you in a follow-up email to the whole group. So as long as you're registered for the Healthy for Life program, you'll get a follow-up email from me, and I'll include the survey on there. Let's see if I have any other questions. Yeah, and Jessica, you said you used to care for patients who underwent bariatric surgery. So if you'd like to be connected with that group, I'm sure they would love to have your feedback and your expertise. Just send me an email. FYI, if you want others to see what you type needs to be on all panelists and attendees. Hello, I had a bear. Yeah, psychological barriers, counseling help. Ed mentioned incentive reimbursement. Right, the incentive and reimbursement, I'm going to give you a real brief overview, okay? So there's what's called the Healthy Weight Incentive. It's available to people who participate in the Healthy for Life program, which is what this is. The minimum requirements to earn that incentive are you need to participate in the 16 weeks, at least 16 weeks, so at least 4 months of the program. You have to lose 10% of your starting body weight, and you have to provide an exercise log. So that is available on the website. It's actually linked off of that Healthy for Life page. And I will give you more information about that closer to the end of the 16 weeks for the people that make it through. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to answer the question right now. Let me know if you need more details right now, but that's what that is. Okay, let me see if I got anything extra in the Q&A. Nope, it looks like it all went in the chat. Any other questions anybody has before we sign off for today? Okay, well, looks like I'm going to give you back 6 minutes to your day. Thanks for joining me. I'm so happy to be on this journey with you. And do let me know if you have follow-up questions, but otherwise we'll talk again next Thursday. Bye, everybody.